Hello, and welcome back to Retired Happy. This is your Retired Happy friend Carolyn in Mississippi. So I'm so glad you came back to join me again. We are now into July. Today is July the 2nd, and it's one of my granddaughter's birthdays. So happy birthday to my granddaughter. And I think I may have told you, I have raised 5 children, and I have 7 grandchildren and 9 great-grandchildren. So they're all growing up, and they're all on their own lives and have their families now. So I've been able to watch several generations grow up, and it's very rewarding to have a good family who is active and happy and productive in life. So welcome back. Today we are going to do chicken salad. I'm going to show you how I make the chicken salad. I'm going to use my rotisserie chicken that I got when I went to Costco, and I put part of it in my freezer, and part of it I ate that day, and part of it I am making the chicken salad with. So I'll show you how I'm going to serve it in the tomato shell. And then my project for today is I am making an arm cover for my sofa arm. And I just happened upon this idea when I had laid another piece of crochet down on my sofa arm that I was working on. And since my sofa doesn't have any arm covers, I said, I need to make some. So I'm going to show you how I make them, and I really, really like it. I'm looking forward to getting my second one made so I can have one on each end of the sofa. So this is a little bit late getting out today because I had some health issues. I wasn't really feeling all that well yesterday, and I have a history of diverticulitis. So I had a little bout and a little flare-up starting Monday night and called the doctor yesterday. Finally, the doctor's nurse called back yesterday afternoon, and got into the office this afternoon right after lunch. So I'm thankful that I finally got to see the doctor. And anyway, having said all of that, I'm a little bit late, and I am feeling better, and I got some antibiotic to start on, so hopefully tomorrow I'll feel even better. So that's my thankful for today, that I was able to see the doctor and get some health care. And then the good word for today, I think you may remember if you've watched some of my videos lately, I was talking about how we're not to have a spirit of fear, but of courage and of strength. And so the point is on where we get our strength. It's not strength in ourselves, but Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. So when we're having a rough row in life or a bump in the road, know that we're not God doesn't want us to go on it all on our own, trying to, as I say, row my boat all by myself. And sometimes I feel like I'm rowing my boat upstream all by myself, but he wants us to depend on him in everything we do and turn everything over to him. So that's my good word for today. And I hope you like the chicken salad. It's really good. It's light for summertime. And summertime we had a terrific thunderstorm. I'm going to show you pictures at the end of the terrific thunderstorm we had yesterday with so much rain, and it looked like a mountain stream coming down my backyard. And so we have either heat and humidity and rain, or we have no rain and hot. So have a good 4th of July. I won't see you again until after the 4th of July. So be safe, everyone. Celebrate and enjoy this great country that we live in, and share your smile with everybody you meet. You know, I went to the grocery store, and it amazes me how I can come upon it, maybe the checker or the bagger at the grocery store, or even another shopper at the grocery store, and they're just busy going on about their job, and they don't smile. So I try to make a point to look at them on their face, I let them know that I see them and smile and say thank you, and then they will smile. So a smile is contagious. So share yours. Now I'm making the chicken salad from the rotisserie chicken I got at Costco. So I took out what I need for the chicken salad, and then I took the rest of it. There was a lot of chicken on that, my half. I gave half of it to my neighbor and I kept half of it. And I have never seen a breast as big as that chicken had. I cut the breast in half and had a big piece in 2 different bags for chicken salad later. My family's coming this weekend, so I'm going to fix another batch for chicken salad for sandwiches when they're here. So the bones of my rotisserie chicken I have in a boiler on the stove right now. So I'm cooking the bones, boiling it with some celery, some onion, and some carrots. And I'm making some chicken broth from that I'm going to put in a jar to have put in the freezer to have for soup later on. So the chicken salad I am making, I have some of the thigh and a little bit of the leg, and I kept out a little bit of the breast to add to this. So I'm making the chicken salad recipe that's in the Cooking with Maggie cookbook. And your proportions and what you need is going to depend on how much chicken you have and how many servings you are making. So I'm going to give you the basic ingredients, and you adjust to how it looks and how you like it. And these are basic ingredients, so if you don't like some of it, leave it out. If you want something else, add it to it. So we start out with the rotisserie chicken, and I'm going to chop it into small bite-sized pieces. Then I have celery. I have 1 rib of celery out, but I think that's going to be too much, so I'll probably only use half of that. Chopped walnuts. This recipe in the book calls for grapes. Now grapes are great in it. I used to put red grapes in it when I made it at the cupcake shop, but I don't have grapes right now, so I'm not going to put that in. I do have craisins, so I'm going to put the dried cranberries, the craisins in it. Mayonnaise, walnuts. This is my big bag of walnuts I got at Costco that I have divided into smaller bags to put in my freezer to store. The Cavender's Greek seasoning, and an apple. I'm going to chop part of an apple. And then I have my eggs boiled. I'm going to put 1 boiled egg in mine. So to boil my eggs, I get my water on to boil. I get it to a good boil, and I'm boiling 2 eggs, so I had my eggs setting out so they would be a little bit warm, not just straight from the refrigerator. So when the water gets to a full rolling boil, put your eggs in the boiling water, and then I turn my heat down just a little bit, but I want it to continue to boil. So I boil mine for 10 minutes. Then at 10 minutes, I take it off, put it in the sink, pour the hot water off, pour some cool water, ice cubes, and my eggs peel perfectly every single time. So if you have trouble peeling your eggs, try that method. So here we go. Now this chicken salad is great to put on a croissant or on a sandwich bread or on one of the dinner rolls like we made. Make a sandwich, egg salad sandwich. It's also great to put on a lettuce leaf to serve it as a salad with crackers on the side. And I would sprinkle some of the either paprika or Cavender's seasoning on the top of it, just to give it some pretty color, and put some tomato slices beside it. And you also can use this chicken salad if you have some small tomatoes, like a Roma tomato from the grocery store. Cut your Roma tomato in half, hollow it out, and then fill the little tomatoes with the tomato shell with the chicken salad. That's great. Put that on a lettuce leaf and then put crackers alongside it. So here we go. Lots of ways to use chicken salad. This chicken is already cooked, so I don't have to worry about chopping raw chicken on my cutting board. So I'm going to chop my chicken up into bite-sized pieces. And this is really going to make a lot of chicken salad. It doesn't look like much, but by the time I get through adding all of the ingredients to it, it's going to make a good bit of chicken salad. I'm going to go ahead and put it in my storage bowl because I'm not going to serve it right now. So I'm going to mix everything in the bowl. I'm going to store it in the refrigerator. Which do you like better, the thigh meat or the breast meat? I like the thigh meat and chicken meat when it first comes, when I first get it at Costco and bring it home. And then usually I have always liked the white meat. But it just depends. On chicken pot pie and chicken and dumplings, I really like to have a mixture of both the white and the dark meat. Turned out to be a good bit of chicken. So now we're going to go with the celery. And I like to chop my celery pretty thin. I like to have big enough pieces that I know it's there, but I do like to have it kind of finely chopped. So let's see how this is going to do. And I might add some Dijon mustard to my salad. I'll think about that and see when I get into mixing it. I don't like to use the yellow mustard, but I do like the Dijon mustard, just a little bit in it to add just a little bit of extra flavor. So let me know if you like to put Dijon mustard in yours or what. Now I think that's plenty. I'm not going to add any more celery at the moment. That was half a rib of celery. And I probably will only need 1/4 of this apple, because there again, I like to chop it thin, and I don't have a lot of chicken to work with. Uh-oh, there's a bite on the floor for Maisie. Okay, next we're going to chop some walnuts. I love the rotisserie chicken from Costco, and usually they have it ready about every hour. It's amazing to stand there and watch their chicken roasting process, how they put them all on the spit and then how they take them all off. They used to put them in a little container. Now they're putting them in big bags. And I think I like the big bags better because it's easier to carry, but it's harder to get the chicken out of that bag. And especially this last time, I had to get it out and cut it in half and then put half of it back in the bag to give to my neighbors. So that was not much fun. That was kind of a challenge. Okay, that's enough walnuts. That's all I want in my chicken salad. Now, this is a brand new bag of craisins. So I'm going to have to open the bag. And I do like craisins in my tuna salad and in my chicken salad. And if I had the grapes, I would use grapes. I just don't happen to have any right now. Now let's see, let's go ahead and get my egg out. So my egg is boiled and my egg is peeled. And now I'm going to chop it and put it in. And this might be a little much egg for this small amount of salad. We'll see. If it looks like it's too much, I'll just keep the half egg out and eat that for supper. Or I could, yeah, that's what I will do. I will leave it out and just slice it and put it on top of my salad for a little decoration. Okay, I think that's enough. Now let's go in with the mayonnaise. And everybody has their own particular favorite brand of mayonnaise. I just have always liked Blue Plate the best. How quick and easy is that? There's an apple that didn't get chopped up. How did that happen? Okay. And I am going to add just a little bit of Dijon mustard. Kroger Dijon mustard. Okay, that's enough. Doesn't that look good? It's so colorful with the cranberries and the red apples and the green celery. That looks very appetizing and very good. And I don't need any more mayonnaise. That was just one big heaping scoop. Now I'm going to sprinkle my Cavenders. And this would be so pretty in half a little plum tomato shell, and then set that on a little leaf of leaf lettuce or bib lettuce, or if you use the iceberg lettuce, and put that on a pretty decorative plate and put crackers or toast points alongside it. That would be really good. And that is a complete meal. You've got your protein, your meat, your egg, your celery, apples, cranberries. So that's a whole meal right there in itself. Okay, that is the chicken salad, y'all. And that made, just that little bit of chicken made that much salad. That will be enough for me for 2 or 3 meals. So now the chicken salad is finished, and I'm going to put the top on it. This is the middle of the afternoon, so I'm not going to sit down and eat it right now or serve it up, but I am making it to go ahead and put in the refrigerator and chill and store. And I will have this for my dinner tonight with some of the toasted sourdough bread, the Gold Miners sourdough bread. I love that bread. So I had a question about the dates, on how I fix the dates. So this is the bag of dates that I get, and when I get them, they're just regular dates, just dry dates. So what I do when I get them is put them in a little container like this one. I put some water on it, and I like to let the water, let it set in the refrigerator for a little while and let the dates soften, and they get really soft. They're sweet. There's no sugar added to them though. It's just natural sweetness. And they are, to me, they're just so good. So after dinner in the evening, usually I just want a date, and then I get the cream cheese like I got at the grocery store this week because I was completely out of it, and take the cream cheese and put it on my date. And that is such a good, to me, this is what I like. This is such a good dessert. Now, a lot of times I will use my cheddar cheese on it, and I do like the cheddar cheese. And if I have a little bit of chow chow, this is a recent eating fad that I have gotten into. I got chow chow at the produce market, which I've never eaten chow chow before in my life, but I've gotten started on it and I really like it. So if I use the cheddar cheese, I get a little bitty dab of chow chow on it. And that's sweet, and then the cheddar cheese, and then the tartness of the chow chow. And somehow that just tastes so good to me right now. The weather is so hot, and I don't want anything really heavy or complicated to fix. So that's just one of my little fad eatings right now. So another thing I had a question on, which I made a mistake. When I was making the pincushion and I was measuring and giving the measurements on it, the 11 centimeters was right, but I had a comment on I measured wrong, and I did. So I need to correct that. on the making the pin cushion. If you're using the centimeters, cut the little square 11 centimeters square. I don't know if can you see that? So 11 centimeters. So when I was looking at 7 centimeters, I went right down here, and that's 8.5. But I was going from the wrong end of my ruler. I should have, this is 12, so I should have measured 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's 4 1/4 inches, between 1/4 and 1/2 inches if you're going by inches. So if you're going by inches instead of centimeters, go 4 1/2 or 4 1/4 inches. So that's how I messed up, and I'm glad somebody caught that to my attention, because if somebody had made it 8.5, that would be a a huge, gigantic pin cushion that is too big for anybody's sewing machine. So thank you for catching that and bringing that to my attention, and I hope this word gets out to everybody who's planning to make a pin cushion. So, honest mistake, but it was a mistake. So I hope you enjoy this chicken salad recipe. We'll put that in, and now we're going to go to the crochet project, and I'll show you my idea on making an arm cover, arm protectors for my sofa arms out of my crochet pattern. So I hope you like this. Let me know in your comments. Well, this is my current crochet project. I was working on this little blanket. I had showed you this earlier. I had this, I love this cotton yarn from Hobby Lobby, and I was just making it, and I had it with that little baby quilt, the first baby quilt that I made, and I said, that looks really cute, that matches. So anyway, I've been working on that, and I laid it up on my sofa arm just to lay it down while I went to the kitchen and went to do something else. And I said, you know, I really like that, and that would really be a good idea for me to have on my sofa arm. It's a fairly new sofa, and I got it about a year ago because the one I had before was a love seat. So I want to take care of this one, and this will probably last me as long as I need a sofa. So what I'm doing is making a sofa arm cover out of this. I love this cotton yarn, which will match my sofa, and I've gotten this far on it. So I'm going to show you my pattern, and if you think this is something you could use, when I lay down or when I come in, just the oil from my arms, sunscreen on my arms, all of that rubs off onto my new upholstery, as well as the sweat or the dust, or if I've been out working in the garden. And I have had visitors come in to my house, and they would sit down in my chair and they would rub their hands like they were scratching the palm of their hand or rub it on the, and you know, this is going to help protect my upholstery. So that's what I'm doing, and I like it. I think it's a great idea. So when I get mine made out of the gray yarn, I think I'm going to come back with my crochet hook and yarn and take a little tuck right there on each corner, so it will fit and go around the piping and go around the edge of my sofa. So I'm going to demonstrate with the yellow. This is also, I love this cotton yarn from Hobby Lobby, and this is for my sofa, but when you're taking yours, if this sounds like it would be a good idea for your sofa, or I've also going to make it when I get through with this one for my recliner and my occasional chairs. I'm going to take the yarn. I am using a Susan Bates 4mm hook. For my sofa arm, I am going to chain 82 plus 2 chains for the turning chain. So I just came up with that. It's going to fit my sofa arms, so measure yours, and then this is not going to be the full length. I'm just going to do a little sample, chain, chain, chain. So I'm going to do the sample, and then you can adapt it to the size that you need. So I came up with, I'm going to need the 82 plus 2 for my chain length, and I'm working half double crochet for the whole project. And to get it long enough to go over my sofa arm, I'm going to do 40 rows. So adapt that to what you need it for. Now, when I get to my recliner and get to my armchairs, it will be a different measurement. Okay, this is just my sample. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to have these 2 last chains as my last 2, and I'm going to go into the third 1, 2, 3. Third stitch from my hook and go in and do a half double crochet. So yarn over into the stitch, get your yarn and pull it up, and that's the half double crochet. And this is a stitch that I really like. I've been doing a lot with it. In fact, almost everything I've done recently, I'm using the half double crochet on everything I design. To do the half double, you go yarn over into the top loop of the stitch, grab your yarn, and pull it through all 3 loops. And this is really simple, really easy, and all the way to the end. And I like it because it's close. It's not as loose as a double, but it makes more progress, and it builds a bigger stitch than just the single. So I'm to the last stitch. I'm going to go into the last stitch, do my regular half double crochet, chain 2, turn my work, get my yarn, and go into that very first space. Very first space next to the chain 2. And pull the yarn through. And pull the yarn through. So you're going to do that all the way through and half double. Well, when you get to this row, let me back up. I've made disclaimer on my other videos. I am not a teacher, I'm not an instructor. I'm sharing my hobbies with you. So if I forget something, it's because I'm not a professional. I'm just sharing what I like to do. So when you're making your stitch, go under both loops of that stitch, not the front and not the back. Get your yarn and go under both loops of that stitch and pull your yarn through. And there's the space. Go in that space and under both of the loops of yarn, both of the strands of yarn on that stitch, and pull your yarn through and finish your half double crochet. This is a quick pattern. It works up easy, and my thought was I don't want it or need it to be real decorative because it's going to be a sofa arm cover, and I really want it to be kind of plain and not bring a lot of attention to it. I just want it to be there, do its job, and protect my sofa arms. So this is not a project where I'm making it real fancy or real decorative. This is going to be a serviceable project. On the last stitch, when you get to your end of your row, you have that stitch, and then you have this that was your chain turning stitch. So take your yarn, go into that chain turning stitch, and get your yarn, pull it through, and that's your last stitch of that row. And when you do that, it's going to come out even, it's going to come out straight, and it's just easy to me. I really like this. So I'm going to chain 2, turn, get your yarn, and go into that. This is the chain, turning chain. Go into that first little stitch, that first hole right there, and make your half double crochet. And if you get mixed up and you're not sure whether you have the right number of stitches, just stop and count it and make sure you have the same number of stitches on each row. And you will count it by counting your little post. So you'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then 12. Okay, so that just happened to work out. I have 12. So that's my practice sample. Okay, so let me know if you like that. I will continue on the one I'm making for my sofa, and when I get to 40 rows, I'll do the last row, and then I'll bring you back and we'll try to figure out and design a way to make it fit over the end of the chair, because I do want it to fit over the end of the sofa arm. And let me ask you this, I was shopping, this goes back to, just shopping and spur of the moment buying. So I was in Hobby Lobby because I had to buy some more of this gray yarn for my sofa arm cover. And I always try to wait until they have their yarn 40% off. So I saw this yarn that I thought was so pretty. It's Yarn Bee Sugar Wheel Cotton. And I just loved the colors of it. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet, but I just thought it was so pretty. I thought it would work out pretty for something. And I might just make like a little lap throw for my sofa or a little lap gam. But if you have any ideas or thoughts on something that this would be pretty made up in, leave me a message in the comments and let me know what you would do with this, because I just think it's so pretty. I'm anxious to see how it works up. I love yarn, I love colors, I love watercolor, I love crochet, I love sewing and quilting. Anything creative I can do with my hands, I love. So those are just my passions in life. And put in the comments what your passions are. I've heard from so many of you on what your hobbies are and what gives you joy and pleasure in your retirement years, because we worked hard to get here and we want to enjoy it. We don't want to waste a minute or a day of our retirement years that we have earned and worked hard for, to enjoy life and to do what we've been waiting all our life to do. So I have just finished row 40 of my sofa arm cover, and I love the way it's draping over my sofa arm. That's going to work really, really nice. So that is 40 rows, and I want it to come down over the side, and then it's coming down over the side on this side. This is the outside. So what I've decided to do, this is this is where I am right now. So that's where I just finished up row 40. So what I'm going to do is a row of single crochet all the way around the edge of the arm cover. And when it gets to the end right here, I'm going to pull it down just about that much. And I'm going to take my stitch markers and pull it in to see how much I need to take it in on my row of single crochet to kind of pull it in so it will form over the end of my sofa. Now I have my stitch markers in place, and I just kind of kept working with the edge of my cover until I got it tucked in where it fits nicely. And this side goes down a little bit more, so I had to pull it in so the edges will meet. So along this edge, I'm going to really kind of pull it in. I may join some stitches across here because I want it to fit very snugly around the end of my sofa arm. So I'm real excited about this, and I can't wait to make arm covers for all my chairs. Oh, Maisie. Hello, Maisie girl. So I'm going around the edge, and I'm doing a single crochet, and it's ending up being a single crochet in the stitch and then a single crochet in the middle of the row. And I took it off my sofa arm and just kind of turned it upside down in my lap so I can keep my pleats in place. Now I've gotten around from the corner to the corner of the sofa along the edge. I'm going to crochet these edges together, and I'll just join right there because I want this to fit snug. So I'm going to join. Hard to do this with one hand, sorry. So I'm crocheting single crochet. This is my fold. I have that much of it folded over, and I'm going to join right there because I fitted it to my sofa arm before I started. And on this side, I have that much of it tucked under that I joined as I single crocheted along. To use right at 2.5 skeins of yarn for this project. So all of the places where I join the yarn, I'm going to put the yarn ends right along the top and then single crochet over it. And when I get it about that far, I'll go ahead and cut the end of it off because it's not going to go anywhere after that. I've gotten all the way from the corner down the edge to the second corner. Now I'm to the edge of the arm cover that's going to go back down along the arm. So I've done my single crochet. I'm not going to do 2 in the corner. I'm just going to do 1 because I want it to lay flat. So now I'm going to put the end of the beginning yarn on top of the row and then single crochet over it and go down. And this is 1 stitch per stitch, so this is going to be easy. This side is easy part. So now we're in the home stretch, and I'm going to do single crochet. So right now, Maisie is way up in the back end of my closet. I just went in there and talked to her, turned the light on in there so she wouldn't be in the dark. It's going to be a while before she'll come out and even think about going out for a walk this evening. It's already after 5 o'clock in the evenings. Looks like I have a river going through my yard right now. I have to go out and water my plants this afternoon.